Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.
You might hear hammering, you might hear construction work. Unfortunately, they have been going at it for months and I have no idea what they're building, so you might. So, I keep bringing up, occasionally, something called the problem shelf. The problem shelf is a result of my book buying ban gone wrong. So, January was going to be the start of my book buying ban where I try to get through the books I have not read because I keep buying so many books and just extending how many books I have without actually reading what I have, because I buy books faster than I can read them because my dyslexia means I take forever. And on top of that, there's my day job, which takes up so much time, so I don't get yeah, it ends up with more books than read books, more unread books more than read books. Like, this is my read side of the shelf. Like, I've read what is on here, basically. I've got the box set here because The Hobbit's been read, but Lord of the Rings is on the other side of it's on the unread. And this is kind of like my immediate TBR and what I've read this year, just so I can keep track of what I've been reading this year. And then below that, outside of screenshot, is the problem shelf. And the problem shelf is books I've bought whilst on this ban. Kind of like this you were supposed to be on a book buying ban. These are all the books you were supposed to not buy. But it gets worse because it's not just the problem shelf. So I ended up buying a few children's books, which I kind of don't include in the book buying ban because I have nieces and nephews, which means that I like to read a book and then give it to my niece to if she's interested. Like, I did that with The Worst Witch. Basically, I bought it this year. Pretty sure it was this year. I think, I can't remember now, but I bought that and I read it, and then I immediately give it to my niece because I don't count it. I don't count it is the problem, because I'm kind of encouraging somebody else to read, and once they have read it, I can be a part of a conversation with them if they want to talk about a book. Basically, I'm doing that with Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events at the minute. Not yet finished. I don't know why it's taking me a while, but it's like my attention span is not right there, so unfortunately I can't even read a children's book right now. But I might not have to. I don't think I'll be able to give it to her for so long because of her age. I have to wait a few years, but yeah. So I'm just wanting to go through what is on my shelf currently, and I want to discuss my expanded rules because it was not working. I bought an entire shelf worth, so basically from there to there worth of books, and then some. And when I say and then some, I went home for 2 weeks for my birthday in July. I don't even know the number of books I bought because every single time I'm home, I go from charity shop to charity shop to charity shop because there's nothing else to do. My mum always goes, "Oh, shall we go shopping?" as like a hobby. She's literally just texted me the same thing because I'm going home in November, and I'm going to struggle this November, just not buying anything. I'll just use the excuse that I have a list of books coming from on the Christmas list. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I've not done so well. I have lost track of the books I bought in July. It just ended up becoming a stack in my wardrobe next to the shelves I set up. Because I have so many books in my wardrobe at my parents' house that I decided to make a Doctor Who shelf just to like make space on my actual shelving. And next to the Doctor Who shelf is the stack of books that I acquired or couldn't fit on the shelf, or wanted to bring down here. And I'm pretty sure I bought a Margaret Atwood because I asked for the sci-fi fantasy collection, like section of the shop I was in, turns out it was just a little shelf, and I was just like, is that all the sci-fi fantasy? But she went and got me the Margaret Atwood, which I think is Onyx and Crake, which I was recommended on Storygraph just a little while ago. But yeah, so I ended up being guilt tripped into buying that because the bookseller went out of her way to go and find a sci-fi or fantasy and go, oh yeah, this might be worth it. And I'm just like, the blurb wasn't doing it for me, but I bought it anyway. But from what I can tell from the Storygraph recommendation, that book would be up my alley. Like it. But yeah, I think I just bought it because it was Margaret Atwood and the bookseller was very nice. So I already bought a lot of books before that. That was literally the last bookshop, and I was just like, okay, oops. But yeah, I kind of came home, and that was when my book buying ban actually kicked in properly, because I filled the shelf, and that was a problem. And I had more at my parents' house that I couldn't fit in my suitcase, so that's on the way down, along with my Christmas present books in November. I have a lot of books on the way, basically, and I'm trying to take the small suitcase so I don't bring all of them, but the ones I'm going to like try and read next year. Try being the key word there, but with that, I have inflicted more rules and incentives. It's more of an incentive thing than anything, and that is if I succeed in not buying a single book for an entire month, I get 10 quid put to one side, and that is my little cash prize that I shall get at the end of the year. I'm kind of thinking I've timed it wrong because I might be using it as a birthday gift to myself by next July, because yeah, I'm thinking if I can save up, that might be my first tattoo fund. I have it drawn out. I know what I want. I know what I want. I've translated it and everything, and I just want it. So I'm thinking that's how I'm going to spend my prize money, on successfully not buying books for a whole year. If I can just do that, I can give myself a tattoo. I did buy a book in October, but it doesn't count, and it's not because it's a children's book. One second. Okay, so I bought this mainly for educational purposes, and it's basically short stories in Norwegian, because I'm learning Norwegian, and I have been for a few years, and one thing is for sure, I suck at it. I did actually, I've been finding the YouTube channel that Ollie Richards has, and one of the main reasons why I decided to learn a language anyways, but I decided I was going to have to listen, read, and watch things in Norwegian, just like anything in Norwegian, just to like get myself used to it, because Duolingo sucks. I didn't even know it was a gendered language, and it did not explain. It didn't even explain it. So yeah, I did buy this in October because it's supposed to be really, really good. And after I bought it, the YouTube channel Simply Norsk is the YouTube channel that I am listening to get my brain around the listening to Norwegian. Even if I'm not properly paying attention, it's just getting my brain wired, and I can maybe go back and re-listen to all of the episodes again. But I kind of found that he recommended this because he's been learning French. Yeah, so I don't include this in the book buying ban because I'm actively trying to learn a language, and I'm kind of not feeling overly confident. And this should hopefully be an aid to that. So if you think it counts in the book buying ban, I'm sorry, but I am in dire need of extra help, and I just need extra resources. So I will. I can't wait for Christmas to ask for this. I have already asked for more short stories in Norwegian for my Christmas present. So this one is the one I'm going to start with before Christmas, because I can't wait until Christmas to actually get started reading stories in Norwegian. So maybe at the end of it, I could probably do a review of it for Short Story Saturday. I mean, I can't do a review of each short story because I can imagine it's not going to be like that, like the usual content I've been talking about for Short Story Saturdays. But I could probably do a review of it maybe when I get to the end of it, if anybody's interested to hear that for Short Story Saturday. But now that I've got my criteria in hand, it's just like trying to go from there. I have successfully not bought anything since coming home from back in July, so yeah, I thought I would go through what I actually have currently on the problem shelf. Hi. It's a lot. But in no particular order. I think I should just go from the end, maybe. I'll start with the classics. I've got some classics here. Okay, so I found Virginia Woolf. I still have the price tag on it. I'm very scared of lifting price tags off certain books, but I've also just noticed there's a sellotape on the cover where it ripped. So somebody tried to not let things rip even further. But yeah, I've got Night and Day and Jacob's Room by Virginia Woolf. So this is a bind up of 2, and I just really want to get into Virginia Woolf. That's it. Coming highly praised as well, but I just very interested in Virginia Woolf. No reason. That it's just well-known classic person. That's the only reason why I bought it. That and Thomas Hardy's Tess of the book title that messes my dyslexia to the point where I might have to pause this and come back. Oh my. Yeah. Okay, I played with a nunchuck for a bit, and yeah, that helped. That helped. Does anybody else who suffers from dyslexia have this one thing where they come across a word and it just like crashes the computer? Cause that, oh. So I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to talk about this without crashing the computer brain. So I don't know, maybe it's something I read and not talk about, because if that's what happens with my brain every single time I try to say it, it's not going to end well. Okay, so I think I'm going to go from one side to the other because those were just like lying flat now. Okay, so I'll go from this side. It is very rare in a charity shop to come across an entire series, and that's what I found here with the 3 Body Problem. I got all 3 books in a charity shop. Oh, there's a bookmark. Okay. Somebody got to page 117 and didn't pick it up again. Book 3. Okay. Interesting. I always find it interesting why people fail or DNF a book, but it'd be interesting to see how this plans out. But it's kind of blowing up online at the minute, and I think that was mainly because it got an adaptation. But I found all 3, and I was just like, this is once in a blue moon. to find this in a charity shop. Just all three. Yeah. That was definitely a summer purchase. I was definitely a nice sunny day. What wasn't a summer purchase, and I'm pretty sure it was. Well, I'm pretty sure this was not. This was like one of the earlier purchases throughout the year. I got 2 Clive Barker books because I've been meaning to get into Clive Barker. Yeah, so mainly because I think I had a housemate once who really wanted some Clive Barker books for. Oh, I've still got the receipt. But yeah, she wanted some Clive Barker because he was like highly recommended, and she was a very big horror fan. Quentin Tarantino's got a quote on this front cover of Weave World. But I got Weave World, and it's a big boy, a big book. And I got Books of Blood, which I saw A.T. Fennington do a review of the first story in here, and I'm just like, I really want to start this now. I mean, it's been on the like maybe next year's short story Saturdays, but now it's just like cemented. Going, I want to start it immediately. If you ever see like tabs on some books, it's not because of things. It's just I like to go through and find where volumes are. Oh no. And just like see just how far through each volume starts. So there's 3 volumes, the Books and Blood, and quite honestly, I'm just cannot get over this one quote from Stephen King. What Barker does makes the rest of us look like we've been asleep for the last 10 years. Clive Barker is an important, exciting, and enormously talented writer. Stephen King has high praise for this guy, and I cannot wait to start. It's just that's very intimidating, but also, you know, that feeling that you get when you're just like holding a book like this. It feels nice. It feels nice. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's very few books that have that nice feeling of just being in your hand. Don't know why. Just it's nice and floppy, and it just does that. And you kind of have that feeling that you want to be in the middle of the big book. I have some Clive Barker for next year. Next up, I found a set of Sherlock Holmes for 10 quid apparently. But yeah, I kind of just liked how small these books were. And I was just like, you know what? If I ever do get into Sherlock Holmes, might as well start with the whole set, because I keep seeing certain Sherlock Holmes books like in books this big, and I never understand it. They're not that big, so I don't understand if it's a bind up of the stories or what. But I bought the whole set because, again, it's a nice set. Yeah. I think that was also the same shop that I bought the Borrower's box set, which is not here because I gave it to my parents' house for my niece to read when she's over there. Next, I have Kate Moss's Labyrinth, and again, I got into wanting to pick up a big book, but at the same time, I think it was Lena Norms that did a video with Kate Moss, and it was just like, I'm really excited to start her work. I'm pretty sure I've got another one of hers at my parents' house, so I need to start reading some books here. I'm noticing a trend that I'm buying a lot of big books, even though they do feel intimidating to start, but at the same time, I'm getting drawn to it. Like, I want to get lost in a big book, but at the same time, what am I going to talk about? if I need to quickly wrap up a story and talk about it, this is going to end up being a month project or something, and it just feels, I don't know. When you feel like you want to read a big book, but you also have an upload schedule, and you know you're not going to be able to make it, and you don't have any other ideas, and it's just like, it kind of contradicts it in a way. Next on this list, I have The Book of Dust, Book 1 by Philip Pullman. I want to reread his Dark Materials. When I say reread, back in year 5, the teacher got us as a class to read the first book, The Northern Lights, and we even had the audiobook, and we could follow along as we listened to the story. It was really good, and she even taught us what a guillotine was. Classroom of 9-year-olds to 10-year-olds, 9-10-year-olds, and we're learning what a guillotine is. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, it was also the first story that I went to the cinema, and I already had read the book. And that was the first time, and it was funny watching Shell's reaction. Hi, Shell. Because it was at the guillotine scene, and I was pretty calm because I knew what was going on and I knew what was going to happen. And I was just like, I was watching Shell more than the movie because it was fun seeing her reaction. Sorry, Shell. You were very entertaining. Probably going to get a very angry phone call. Next up, I have 2 Frederick Bachman books. Britt Marie Was Here and Beartown. Again, the sticker is still on, but I can eventually figure out how to get that off. But yeah, I'm a big Frederick Bachman fan. I have read 3 of his, 2 over here, 1 over there, and he is very funny whilst also being very sad. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. He has a way with emotions in his readers, and yikes. I believe Beartown is going to be dealing with a very difficult topic when somebody in this small town is assaulted. So, and it's like a town's response, which is pretty interesting because he's always very good at the human reaction and how people can be daft, but also how we respond to things is also very human in his stories. So yeah, I was very excited to find Bachman in a charity shop. I would love to support the author by buying it new, but at the same time, I like to buy second hand more than I do new, so yeah. Next up we have Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney, which is another author who is notorious on BookTube. I have not read Normal People, but I was very interested to find out that I think this is the book that has the polyamorous relationship, if I can just find the word. But yeah, it's like relationship dynamic that I don't see enough of. It was in Murderbot, and I was just like, I kind of want more like relationship dynamics that are not the norm of what we see every single day. And it's yeah, so be nice to actually read some more of that. So I think that's why I grabbed Conversations with Friends. It's either that or another book that I'm thinking of. I don't know. But yeah, Sally Rooney is very well known on YouTube, on BookTube, for being very good, I think. I don't know. But Normal People got an adaptation. Next up, I found Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. And I don't know much about it, but the back of the blurb, the blurb on the back of the book. So many bees nearly killed it again. But yeah, the blurb was very interesting. And I know there was a movie about it by the Wachowski sisters. So again, pretty interesting to find more about this story out. And if it's a cross-generational, like multiple generational story, then it'd be interesting how it comes all together at the end. But it's like one of those things that you hear a lot about from people just mentioning the title, but you don't know anything about really. Yeah. The End of Mr. Y by Scarlett Thomas. This was actually a book I did own before I moved here. I I owned this before I moved here, but I got rid of about nearly half of my books so I can move by myself, because moving books is a job and a half. So I kind of was just like, I need to be honest with myself, and honesty means I don't think I can move 400 books on my own. So I give the invitation out to my friends to come and pick a book that I did not mind getting rid of, and that was books that were duplicates and books from incomplete series and books that I'm just not too hyped over. But I kind of saw this again. I read the back of the blurb, and again I found myself drawn to it. And yeah, something to do with a book called Mr. Y. Well, I think it literally that when the book title of the actual physical book is called the book is the exact same name of a book in the story, it kind of screws with your mind. I think I have The Book with No Name by anonymous author, exact same premise, book with the same title. Yeah, so can't actually wait to get into it, and with the other condition that I've laid upon it, is sticking on my problem shelf for now. Now this one is I had to, no matter what. I could not leave this in the bookshop. I could not leave this in the charity shop at all. I just couldn't. Yeah. But could any of you have left this in there if you saw this? J.R.R. Tolkien, The Histories of Middle-earth, Volume 1 to 5. It was $5. It was a $5. No, the person who had this before clearly got up to the third one just by looking at the spine quality. These two have not been opened whatsoever, but the spine creases on the first two, so there was just no way I was going to walk out without this. Either this is going to be something I read over the next few years, or become a gift for somebody. Like, I'm planning on reading Lord of the Rings soon, hopefully next year, and I'm hoping to expand into more of Tolkien's writing. It's just weird to see. I had no idea this was a thing. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Is it really? I don't know. But I could not walk out with it. Is that the receipt? Yep, that is the receipt. I send to keep the receipt with everything I buy. It might be a potential bookmark. But yeah, that's all the books I have on the problem shelf. And the condition I have is I cannot buy another book until that problem shelf is empty. The issue I'm going to get is the books that I bought in July. I can't think I'm going to remember every single book I bought. So I think if I do bring books down from my parents' house, it's going to be just added to the problem shelf anyways. So yeah, I might have to redo this entire shelf just to like make room for that. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that, because I also have to fit books from Christmas and birthdays. The way I can acquire new books is if I request them. My current list is some of them have been carried over from books that did not happen from my birthday, because I did ask for a particular trilogy and it didn't pan out. So I had a long list ready for my birthday. I got some of that. One of them was my friends. We got Blood Over Brighthaven, I Have Never Known Men, and A Murder Bot that I have not read yet. So it's just one of those things that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I have 3 books left of my birthday presents that I have yet to read, and one of them I will be reading because I want to reread Murderbot. Put that up there. I want to reread Murderbot, which yeah, because I don't have Apple TV. I don't have access to the adaptation. Apparently, it's good, but oh. One of the YouTubers that I follow, Council of Geeks. Well, technically it's the Break Room of Geeks, but Vera's been reading Murderbot and she's gonna be reading the second one soon. I'm just like, oh, yay! The more people who read Murderbot, the better, the better. But I have System Collapse over here, and when I reread this next year, I don't know when, but the novellas plus a novel, but and they're gonna be quick to read because I've already read them. But I could probably do one a month maybe, just to dip my toes back into Murderbot. I think there's another book of Murderbot coming out, but yeah. But then I'll have just 2 more books from my birthday presents. Yeah. I should also probably bring over the books that my dad bought me because they took me to a bookshop in the Lake District. They literally took me to the Lake District because they felt bad that they didn't get me a book from the bookshop from the town they stayed in. So they literally took me all the way to the Lake District to go to the bookshop. I'm very easy to please. Just a bookshop. Never mind the fact that I've never been to the Lake District before. But I should probably maybe include those books, which include the Book of Witches, which I'm going to be picking up in January to continue the Short Story Saturdays, because I've already read the first 4. Oh my goodness, and can't wait to continue with that once I've wrapped up my current 2 collections before the end of the year. So I am not looking forward to bringing back all of the books that I have at my parents' house, but because it's just going to make things a little bit skew. If I'm not going to make any more reading plans until I go home in November, and if it is November, in a few weeks. I'm gonna go home soon and pull all the books that I'm gonna eventually get to for the problem shelf, as well as some books that I'm expecting for Christmas. But yeah, so far so good. I've not bought another book except for my educational language learning book, but it doesn't count. I'm really needing to learn a language because I do like to visit Norway. We should all learn a language just because it's fun. And as a dyslexic person, it is a little frustrating. But yeah, so far so good. That's my problem shelf and my book buying ban and the rules. If I buy another book, it goes straight onto the problem shelf and I miss out on that month's cash prize added to the jackpot at the end. I'm just gamifying it just to incentivize. I need the money so I can get my tattoo. I should probably get this back down here. There we go. Bye, Shell.
And bye to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.
Yeah.